The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 9-10 Colfax Vikings, who are 4-7 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, will step out of conference play as they travel to Amery, Wisconsin to take on the 5-15 Amery Warriors, who are 0-12 in the Middle Border Conference. The Vikings are coming off a 61-49 loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs Friday night, while the Warriors are coming off a 73-57 loss to St. Croix Central last Thursday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Warriors and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's non-conference battle between the Amery Warriors, who are 5-15 overall and 0-12 in the Middle Border Conference, against the Colfax Vikings, who are currently sitting at 4-7 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference and 9-10 overall. The Vikings are trying to find a way to snap their 6-game losing streak following their 61-49 defeat at the hands of the Boyceville Bulldogs on Friday night. Now, in that game, the Vikings were led in scoring by 6'3" senior Nick Jensen, who hit on 6 field goals, 3 of which were from three-point land, and went 5 for 5 from the free throw line, equaling his season high of 20 points. 5'9" junior Elijah Ensminger followed by canning 3 field goals, including a three-pointer, and went 6 for 6 at the free throw line for 13 points. They were followed by 5'11" sophomore Aiden Fisher, who nailed 5 field goals, including a three-pointer for 11. So far on the season, leading the way for the Vikings is Jack Charlo, who's averaging nearly 16 points per game. He's followed by Ensminger, who's putting up over 15, and Nick Jensen, who's chipping in nearly 8.5. Leading rebounders for the Vikings are Charlo, who's averaging about 10 per game, and Jensen, who's pulling down in the vicinity of 6. Now, the Warriors come into tonight's game winless in the Middle Border Conference with a conference record of 0 wins and 12 losses, as well as a 5-15 overall record following their 73-57 loss to St. Croix Central last Thursday. Now, look for the Warriors to be led by 6'2" sophomore Carter Woolen, who is proving to be hard to stop by averaging nearly 28 points per game. Woolen is shooting 44% from the floor, including 37% outside the three-point line, while also hitting on 82% of his free throws. Meanwhile, 5'10" senior guard Jens Lindquist is putting up around 10 points per game, and 6'2" sophomore Caleb Danielson is scoring at nearly 6 points per game. On the boards, Woolen leads the way, grabbing nearly 8 rebounds per game, and Danielson pulls down almost 6. So far on the season, Amery is scoring at a 56-point average while giving up 66 points per game. The Vikings are averaging 55 points per game while allowing an average of 55 points. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll. And coach, on Friday night, the Vikings dropped a tough loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs, 61-49. What can you tell us about that game?
It was a tough game. It was a super physical game. I thought Boyceville played really well. I thought that they came out and had a goal in mind, and that goal was to out-rebound us and to hold Jack Charlo to, not very many looks offensively and defensively with his rebounding. And they held us to 16 rebounds for a game.
Wow.
Where the last time we played them, Jack had 22 rebounds by himself in that game when we won at home. So that was the difference. We only had one shot every time on offense, and and we just didn't shoot particularly that great. We shot like 36%, and they shot 52% from the floor. And it was their coaches versus cancer game, and they had their whole community there and did a great job of promoting that, and it was a fun environment to play in.
Well, that makes 6 losses in a row for the Vikings, and that's got to be pretty frustrating for the boys. How are you able to keep them with a positive outlook?
I think we just stay positive. We don't get negative. We don't start pointing fingers at each other. We've had a lot of good games in that stretch, so I'm not worried about even just talking about 6 losses in a row to me is negative. I don't go down that road. I stay away from that stuff. And yes, it's true, but at the same time, it's not something that we talk about. We talk about what we can control. We can control our defense, our effort, our ability to play together as a team, and that's what we focus on.
Well, tonight, Vikings have another chance to right the ship because they're going to face the Amery Warriors in a non-conference matchup. What can you tell us about the Warriors?
I mean, they're a tough team in the fact that they've got one of the best sophomores in Northwest Wisconsin on their team. He's 6'4", he's averaging 27.5 points a game. He is going to be a nightmare to guard tonight. So we're going to throw some different things at him and try to keep him guessing where people are coming from to help. And then it's going to come down to his teammates if they can make enough shots to beat us or not. But that's kind of the game plan.
Well, you're talking about sophomore Carter Woolen, and you're right. He's averaging 27.5 points a game. What is it that he does that gives him that kind of numbers and so on? And how do you keep him from dominating the game?
Well, it's going to be hard because he has the freedom. He has the ball in his hands, 24/7. So the ball is going to be in his hand the entire night. He has the freedom to shoot from anywhere that he wants to on the court. He's 6'3", 6'4", so he's taller and bigger and stronger than most of the kids that guard him. And so he can get to the spots that he wants to on the floor, and then he can rise up and shoot over the top of people. So he's a big guard that's going to literally probably take 35 shots tonight. So it's something that we haven't seen that much of this year, because most of the time if someone shoots 20 shots, that's a lot of shots. Now the kid from Bloomer, Schwarzenberger, or however you pronounce it, he was very similar to this, but I would say that this kid's a little stronger than Dominic is.
Now, the Warriors have really been struggling in that middle border conference. So one kid does not make a team, and I've got to hand it to you, Coach. You got a team, and I think that would be the biggest part of stopping Amery tonight.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the key is trying to play, great team defense, and we'll mix things up with what we're doing, and everyone in the middle border, they're big, strong, athletic too, and they played Prescott. Amery only lost to Prescott like 82-88, and Prescott's got one of the better teams probably in the area. They've had some games where all of a sudden if he takes 40 shots and he's on a night where he's shooting well, they're in the game.
Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can find a way to snap out of that losing streak and build some momentum for the WIAA regionals.
Thank you very much. Go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are looking to snap their current 6-game losing streak after their 61-49 loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs on Friday night, as well as try to get a little momentum prior to the WIAA regionals in just about 2 weeks. On the other hand, the Warriors would like to demonstrate that they're better than their 0-12 conference record would indicate. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now in just a moment, we'll send it out to Amery High School, where our broadcast crew is ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Amery Warriors. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually, your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Vikings steal the pass. This is Charlo driving down the left side of the lane, puts it up. It goes in and he draws the harm.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 proudly present today's Colfax Viking Boys varsity basketball game.
Down to Jensen and on the right baseline, puts it up and in. This is what you were talking about a couple days ago, Dan. Jensen's got to put those shots up, and he's doing it.
Join us as we head out to the gym for today's Viking basketball.
Good evening and welcome to Amery, where the Colfax Viking Boys have a crossover game tonight on the road, taking on the Amery Warriors of the Middle Border Conference. Good evening, I'm Jay Fall here with Dan Petchall. Our videographer is Chris Olson. Happy you joined us tonight. The Colfax Viking boys bring a record of 9 wins and 10 losses into tonight's game. As far as the Dunn St. Croix Conference, they are 5th with a record of 4-7. We mentioned that this is a non-conference game. The Amery Warriors have a record of 5-15 on the season, and they are 0-12, 8th in the middle borders. So they are looking to pick up a win, as the Colfax Vikings are as well. We'll go courtside now.
Now, to honor America and those defending our freedoms, we ask those of you who are able to stand, remove your hats, and place your hand over your heart for the playing of the national anthem as performed by the Amery High School Choir. Colfax High School and the WIAA require good sportsmanship and education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. And now the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Colfax Vikings. Senior number 3, Kyle Irwin. Junior number 10, Elijah Ensminger. Senior number 12, Jack Charlow. Junior number 23, Blake Johnson. And senior number 42, Nicholas Jensen. The Vikings are coached by Mark Knoll, assisted by Tristan Kielsen and Nick Height. And now, starting for your Amery Warriors, sophomore number 2, Carter Wallen. Junior number 3, Seth Wallen. Sophomore number 4, Caleb Danielson. Sophomore number Blake Anderson. And sophomore number 13, Joey Thorshan. The Warriors are coached by Tom Mackey, assisted by Carl Granica and Matt Pedersen. Tonight's trainer, provided by Amery Hospital, is Mr. Roden Schock.
And we're ready for the tip-off. It goes to the Vikings. Ensminger will have it as he hands it off to Irwin, moving to the left side, and then Johnson will move it from left to right. Give and go to Ensminger, back out on top to Irwin. Irwin to Johnson. Amery starting out in a man-to-man down in the far corner. It goes out to Ensminger. And ball goes out of bounds. That is going to Amery. So as we look on here, the Colfax Vikings are in road red with white numerals in trim, and they are moving from right to left as you look on here. We are behind the scorer's table. Amery in home white, trimmed in black and red. And Amery gets across the timeline to Seth Wolin. They fire it down underneath to Joey Thorsheim, and that ball goes out of bounds, so Colfax will have it back. 17-13 to go, first half, no score. Jay Fall, Dan Petro, and Chris Olson with you from Amery. Glad you joined us tonight. Irwin in the middle, off to Ensminger, free throw line right. Bounces it to Johnson, free throw line left, and he'll bring it into the middle. Give and go to Irwin. Irwin at the top of the key, looks down underneath and will fire it to Ensminger. Ensminger takes it to the free throw line, right side of the lane, off the glass, rolls off, tip back up and in by Jack Charlo. Vikings on the board first, 2-0, 16:37 to go first half. Quickly up the floor, it's Thorsheim. Thorsheim down underneath to Seth Wolin, and he ties up Blake Johnson underneath, and possession. Well, actually, we're going to have a foul called on Seth Wolin. So Colfax will bring it across, or bring it out, I should say. Irwin, far side across the timeline. Drives the lane, fires it off to Ensminger, open on the left side, loses the ball, maintains it, flips it back to Irwin. Colfax dodging a bullet there, out to Blake Johnson on the far side. Johnson give and go out to Irwin, back to Johnson. They're keeping it on the right side this time. Down inside to Charlo. Charlo's going to go in, pop it out too far past Irwin, and the Warriors will get the ball. Two 2-0 Colfax, 15:56 to go in the first half from Amery. In the middle it's Wolin. Wolin out in far corner to Anderson. Anderson up for three, around the rim and out, rebounded by Blake Johnson. Johnson up the floor, fires it to Charlo. Charlo looking to go in there on the left side, gives it back to Johnson. Johnson back down to Charlo. Free throw line left, give and go to Johnson. Johnson loses the ball, out of bounds to Amery. Back-to-back games for the boys tonight. We'll have them as they host Elk Mound tomorrow from Colfax. High pass out to Danielson. Danielson up the floor to Wolin. Wolin fires in the near corner this time to Johnson, back out to Wolin. Wolin up, catches the back iron, rolls out. Charlo trying to get it. And I think, a foul, traveling violation is going to be called on Seth Wolin of Amery. 15:09 remains in the first half. 2-0 Colfax. Kyle Irwin gets his shoe tied, and we're ready to go. He'll get the ball inbounds from Blake Johnson. Johnson out to Charlo. Charlo down underneath, or gets the ball back out in the far corner, around the horn. It's going to be Johnson for three. Bangs around out, rebounded by Thorsheim for Amery. Thorsheim out to Wolin. Wolin fires it out on the far side to Blake Anderson. Anderson to Thorsheim, back in the middle to Wolin. They'll try to set it up again, or Wolin. Down in the near corner, Anderson. Anderson into Caleb Danielson. He'll dribble it once, back out on top. Wolin in, up the center of the lane, shot missed. And loose ball picked up by Danielson. Then Irwin steals it away, takes it down to the other end for Colfax. Reverse layup missed. Rebounded by Wolin for Amery. Wolin takes the three-point shot, hits the iron, and they're going to let it go. It's going back to Colfax. About 14 minutes to go in the first half, 2-0 Colfax. In the middle, pass goes to Johnson. Johnson down to the corner. Man inside to Jensen. Jensen's shot falls short. And trying to get the rebound is Wallen. And he ends up stepping on the end line. Irwin's going to throw it in. Free throw line left. Irwin down underneath to Charlo, and we're going to have a foul called underneath. That's going to be charged to Caleb Danielson, 6'2" sophomore from Amery. Amery has 4 sophomores starting. Throwing it in for Colfax, Irwin. Irwin way out on top to Blake Johnson. From the right side. Give and go to Irwin. Irwin driving the right side of the lane, puts it up, and sounds like he's fouled on the way in. He's going to get 2 free throws. That foul is going to be charged to Carter Wolin, 6'2" sophomore for the Warriors. That is his first. Amery 3 fouls on the night so far, as the first shot by Irwin is up and in. And he will get a second. Irwin's second shot rolls off, and it is rebounded by Carter Wolin of the Warriors. Wolin being guarded by Charlo. Fires a pass down on the near corner to Ben back out to Jens Lenquist. And we will have a foul away from the ball on Charlo. That is his first. Thorsheim with the ball for Amery. Up to Wolin. Wolin drives in around Jensen. Shot missed. Ball tipped out and is picked up by Johnson. Johnson back and forth with Ensminger. Johnson moving it to the middle. Fires it out to Irwin. Free throw line left. Charlo sets a screen, and he gets a pass from Johnson. Doubled up in the back corner, no one to throw it to, and going back to get it is Ensminger, and that's an over and back violation. (3-0) Colfax, 12:46 remaining, first half. Inbounds throw goes into Carter Wolin. Or check that, Blake Anderson. Out to Lenquist. Driving in now, Wolin. Off the glass, shot doesn't go, and there's going to be 2 free throws awarded to him, and that will be on a foul by Kyle Irwin. Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Thursday night, February 16th, as the Viking girls will wrap up their regular season as they play host to the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50, and that will be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball this Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. 2 for 2 from the line for Carter Wolin in that set. And the score now 3-2 Colfax, leading Amery. Inbounds bounce to Ensminger. Vikings will set things up down on the other end. Amery still in the man-to-man. Ensminger makes a move on the left side. He'll pop it up from 14, miss. Jensen gets the rebound, back up, reload, and he's going to get a couple of free throws. Looks like he might have gotten bopped in the mouth there. Seth Wallen is going to be the fouler on that one. That's his second. He's got both of Amery's, or he's got 2 of Amery's 4 free throws. Jensen's shot no good. And the second one is, though. 4-2 Colfax, 12:18 left first half. Joey Thorson up the floor to Lindquist. Lindquist out in the corner. Back out to Wolin. Wolin shot missed. Rebounded by Wolin again. Thorsheim driving the right side for Amery. Back out on top to Wolin. Back to Wolin. From Wolin. And it's stolen away by Ensminger. Ensminger on the free throw line. Cross-court pass goes out to Medine. Medine's going to set things up. Medine pops it up from 14. Missed. Rebounded by Wolin. Wolin bringing it up the floor for Amery. Tries to fire it in, and foul. And a bench warning has gone to the Vikings. Foul's going to be called on Fisher. That's his first. Carter Wolin on the free throw line. Free throws are good. Mark Woll not happy with the call. And we're going to have a technical foul on the Colfax bench. Not on the bench, sorry, on Ensminger. And first free throw, good by Carter Wolin. Amery now up 6-4. Lands the second one as well, and Amery will get the ball back.
Carter Wolin has all the points right now for Amery.
Thorsheim out to Lindquist. Lindquist to Carter Wolin. Wolin goes up and around, and that ball just sat there. Ball's tipped back out. Amery's going to get it. Joey Thorsheim. Back into Jens Lindquist down underneath, and there is going to be no basket. Sam Strike traveled. 7-4 Amery, 10:53 to go first half. And Medine will bring it out of the backcourt from Fisher. Over on the far side into Jensen. Jensen on the give and go to Fisher. Back out in the corner to Mason Yarrington now in the ball game. Out to Fisher. Fisher for three. Nails it. And we are tied at 7. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Amery finds full court pressure from Colfax. Across the timeline it goes to Blake Anderson into Sam Strike. Strike off the glass. That one missed. Tipped out. Rebounded by Medine for Colfax. Medine top of the key. Medine out to Yarrington. Shot block goes to into the hands of the Warriors. It's going to be Carter Wolin. Wolin, a wide open Blake Anderson. He'll put a shot in on the left side. 9-7 Amery. Just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Medine into Jensen. Jensen's going to hang on to it. Drive the right side, flip it down to Yarrington. Yarrington comes out of the far corner. Fires it to Hoffman. Hoffman out to Yarrington. Yarrington, a 20-footer, sinks it. 10-9 Colfax, 9:35 to go in the first half. Lindquist back to Carter Wolin. Wolin being guarded by Hoffman, goes around him, puts it up, shot missed. Scurrying for the rebound, Sam Strike back out to Wolin. Wolin from 20, that one doesn't go. Rebounded by Lindquist. Lindquist tried to drive the baseline. Back up to Strike. And we have a foul underneath. That's going to go against Colton Hoffman, I believe. Yep. So that will send Sam Strike, a 6'3" freshman, to the floor. So Amery's lineup, there is, let's see, one senior out there, Tyler Meyer for Amery. First free throw good. Jack Charlo and Blake Johnson coming back in to spell Mitch Medine and Nick Jensen. We're tied at 10, 9:09 to go first half. Second free throw. Catches the back iron, bounces out, and it's rebounded by Colton Hoffman. Hoffman gives it to Johnson. Johnson drives the right side. Give and go to Yarrington. Free throw line extended. He'll scoop pass it over to Fisher. Shot missed, and it's rebounded by Blake Anderson. Carter Wolin up the floor, fires it to Blake Anderson over on the left side. Anderson to Sam Strike, wide open. Baseline layup on the left side. Amery would like a timeout. We'll take one as well. 8:42 remaining. It's Amery 12, Colfax 10. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
8:42 left first half. Amery 12, Colfax 10. We're at Amery, home of the Warriors. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow, videographer Chris Olson. As Johnson passes to Charlo. Charlo loops out. Shot goes up from 5, rolls out, no good. Rebounded by Tyler Meyer. Meyer to Carter Wolin. Wolin on the left side, dishes it out in the far corner to Anderson. Three-point shot missed. And we're going to have the ball out of bounds off Caleb Danielson. I think, nope, there's going to be a foul. They're going to say Aiden Fisher helped him move out of bounds. So that is the second foul for Aiden Fisher. And the sixth foul for Colfax. Amery goes into the bonus on the next one. Errant pass goes out on top. And Blake Johnson ties the ball up. It's going to be possession Amery. Jens Lindquist is going to throw it in. Lindquist into Seth Wolin. Or check that, Carter Wolin. Wolin being guarded by Hoffman of Colfax. Wolin dishes a pass off near corner, and that shot by Jens Lindquist missed, rebounded by Blake Johnson for the Vikings. Blake waits for reinforcements. Down underneath, baseline layup by Aiden Fisher, missed, ball is loose. It's going back to Colfax. Amery 12, Colfax 10, 7:50 to go first half. Blake Johnson to throw it in for the Vikings underneath the Colfax basket left side. Bounces it into Charlo. Charlo loses the ball, picked up by Carter Wolin of the Warriors. Wolin brings it up the floor, drives along the right side, pass to Blake Anderson, open for a three, bounces around, missed, rebounded by Charlo. Charlo gains his footing, fires to Blake Johnson. Johnson driving the lane up from 13, good. 12 up, 7:25 to go first half. Amery quick up the floor to Thorsheim. Thorsheim from the sideline. Amery up by 3, 15-12. Ensminger across the center jump circle. Ensminger down along the left side, one-handed pass to Yarrington. He'll bring it out on top, give and go to Johnson. Johnson looks underneath, fires to Hoffman. Left corner, Hoffman drives in, up in. 15-14, Amery over Colfax by 1, 6:44 to go, first half. Thorsheim up the floor for Amery to Meyer. Meyer zings it across the floor to Anderson. Anderson, free throw line extended, stops at the free throw line, back down in the corner to Thorsheim. Thorsheim for 3. And we're going to have a foul underneath on the Warriors. That one's going to be charged to Tyler Meyer. So that is Amery's 5th foul of the first half. The next Colfax foul sends Amery to the free throw line for 1-1. Vikings have the ball right now. Ensminger crosses the AW in the middle of the floor, fires to Yarrington, free throw line right. Yarrington goes back out on top, trying to get it into Jensen. Ball is picked off by Anderson. Anderson to Carter Wolin. Wolin up from the free throw line, good. 17-14, Amery coming up on 6 minutes to go in the first half. Pass halfway down to Ensminger. Ensminger on the sidelines out to Yarrington for 3. Bounces off big, rebounded by Thorsheim. Thorsheim to Wolin. Wolin for 3. Drains it. 20-14 Amery. 5:38 to go in the first half. Blake Johnson. Johnson out to Yarrington. Yarrington give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger to Johnson. Johnson for 3. Catches the front iron. Nice rebound by Jensen. Then it rolls off his feet. He can't get to it. Amery comes up with it. Joey Thorsheim will bring it out there. And we're going to have a foul. That's going to be charged to Jack Charlo. That is his 2nd, and that will send Amery to the free throw line for 1+1. Carter Wolin, 6'2" sophomore, shooting. And officials making sure everything's all set, and it is. Carter Wolin, first free throw. Rolls around a bit, then down. Viking boys at home tomorrow night against Elk Mound, back to the Dun St. Croix. Second free throw, good. You can see that game right here on NLWN 2, the Northern Light Webcasting Network, as well as Viking TV. Hoffman with the ball, then to Ensminger. Ensminger pops it up, missed, rebounded by Sam Streich. Carter Wolin up the floor for Amery, loses the ball, but there to pick it up, Joey Thorsheim. Thorsheim out to Sam Streich. Opposite side, Anderson. Carter Wolin comes to help him out, lets it go from 20 and drains another one. 25-14, Amery. 4:35 left in the first half. And a shot is missed. Carter Wolin with a rebound for Amery. Kyle Irwin attempted that one. Out in the far corner goes out to Blake Anderson. Anderson to Caleb Danielson. Up out on top to Carter Wolin. And Amery would like a timeout. 4:14 left first half. Amery 25, Colfax 14. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Welcome back to Amery. Eau Claire has a sort of new semi-pro football team, the Eau Claire Cowboys, and NLWN 2, along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network, are excited to be your broadcast home. Follow the Eau Claire Cowboys throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and here on NLWN 2. Joey Thorsheim throws it into Carter Wolin. Wolin in the backcourt. Wolin. Player control foul. He went up and bowled over Elijah Ensminger. Colfax gets it back, trailing 25-14 to the Amery Warriors. Irwin across the timeline for the Vikings. Free throw line up. Missed, rebounded by Carter Wolin. Shots just not falling this half for Colfax. Carter Wolin, 3-ball, that one doesn't go. Rebounded by Nick Jensen for Colfax. Up the floor it goes to Kyle Irwin. Irwin from the free throw line. Out in the far corner, Elijah Ensminger looks. Decides he'll toss it back to Irwin over on the far right side. Out to Hoffman. 3-point attempt, Ensminger. Front iron, no good. Rebounded by Carter Wolin. To Joey Thorsheim for Amery. He's being guarded by Blake Johnson near side. Ball's flipped out to Carter Wolin, or check that, that's Blake Anderson. Down to the near side. Comes back out to Carter Wolin. 3:10 to go, first half. Out to Joey Thorsheim. To Blake Anderson, down underneath, left wide open was Caleb Danielson. 27-14 Warriors, under 3 minutes left first half. Blake Johnson down onto Irwin to Jensen. Jensen shot missed. Normally Jensen hits those. They're not falling tonight for the Vikings. Carter Wolin out of the backcourt for Amery. Mounts is out to Joey Thorsheim. To Blake Anderson. Anderson into Carter Wolin. Wolin, fall-away jumper from 8, missed, rebounded by Kyle Irwin. Irwin across the center jump circle for the Vikings. Irwin, give and go to Johnson. Johnson drives the lane, back out to Irwin. Irwin driving in, looks at a 10-footer, back out to Johnson. He'll take a look. Drives in, pops it down on the baseline to Jensen. Back out to Kyle Irwin. Irwin, three-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Sam Streich. Carter Wolin will bring it up the floor, and Sam Streich ends up getting run into. And I think that was a 1-on-1 signal. Yeah, that's on Blake Johnson, 2-3. Blake's first foul, that is the 8th team foul for Colfax. 1-and-1 for Sam Streich, 6'3" freshman. Free throw missed, rebounded by Medine. Medine to Ensminger for the Vikings. Runs it up the center from the corner of the lane, pops it up. Bounces around and down. First basket for Colfax in a bit, 27-16. Minute and a half remaining, first half. Ball out to Blake Anderson. Open for a 3, takes it and makes it. 30-16 Amery. Elijah Ensminger pops it up from 10. That one's good. 30-18, Amery leading Colfax. So they will fetch the ball and then give it to Jens Lindquist to throw it in. Lindquist into Blake Anderson. Anderson driving the right side. Carter Wolin takes it, brings it back in the middle from the near corner. Back over to Anderson. Anderson on the baseline, doesn't have a shot. Back out to Strite. Down in the lane to Lindquist. Bounces it far corner to Meyer. To Carter Wolin. Wolin drives in, out to Blake Anderson. Three-point attempt missed. Ball rebounded by Blake Johnson. 37 seconds left. Up the floor to Ensminger. Ensminger to Medine. Free throw line right back out to Blake Johnson. Three-point attempt missed. Rebounded by Sam Streich. Amery. Carter Wolin brings it up, looks to the sidelines, and looks like they're going to try to get the last shot of the first half here. Out to Blake Anderson. Anderson drives in, 12 seconds, out to Sam Strite, back out to Blake Anderson, open for three, rolls out, rebounded by Tyler Meyer. And we will have a foul charged to Tyler Meyer. So that's Amery's seventh foul, so that is going to put Blake Johnson on the free throw line for 1-1 for Colfax with 5 seconds to go in the first half. Blake Johnson, first free throw, good. 30-19, stay tuned for Viking halftime, which is coming your way very shortly here. 5 seconds remain in the first half. Second of the 1+1 is good. Amery to bring it up the floor. They hand it off to Carter Wolin. Out in the far corner to Jens Lindquist. On the buzzer, hits it! Jens Lindquist. A buzzer beater from outside the arch, making our halftime score. Amery 33, Colfax 20. We invite you to stay tuned now for Viking halftime. That's coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Blake Johnson, and Blake is a junior here at Colfax High School. And Blake, we know you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I am not at the moment, but I was thinking about joining some.
Okay, all right. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started playing when I was in 3rd grade, and it's been a great experience. Love all my teammates, and it's just helped me get through some times.
Okay, and what's the most important thing you've learned from playing basketball?
The most important thing I've learned is help up everyone and be a great teammate.
All right. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some things that keep you interested or occupied?
Hanging out with friends, playing video games, hanging out with family.
Okay. All right. Those are good things to do. So got a couple rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies, definitely.
Which kind?
Subway cookies for sure.
Oh, yeah. Now, the Subway cookie, is it the chocolate chip or the macadamia?
Oh, yeah, chocolate chip, always.
All right. Okay. Your favorite color and why?
I'd probably say blue, because that's the color of my eyes, and I've always liked it.
Okay, real good. Now, if you could have a superpower, what do you think that superpower might be?
Definitely to fly. Money for gas is a little bit high, so
flying might make life a lot easier.
Oh yeah, save me some time and money.
There we go. Now, with a superpower like being able to fly, Blake Johnson needs to have a superhero name to go with that. So what do you think your superhero name might be?
Slenderman in the sky.
All right. I can do that. Favorite NBA team?
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay. And your favorite collegiate team?
I could not tell you.
All right, that's fine. Is there any basketball player in the past at any level of the sport who's kind of affected the way you play your game?
I'd probably say Steph Curry. I always admired him, and shooting threes was always something I wanted to do, so I just followed what he did, and now I shoot threes for a living.
We're talking with Blake Johnson today on Viking Profile. And Blake, what are your plans for after high school?
Work in road construction and try to be a carpenter when I get older.
How about a shout out to the family?
I'd say shout out to my mom. She's the reason I'm playing basketball right now.
That's a pretty good shout out then. When people come to Viking games and they want to find that Blake Johnson guy out on the floor, what number are they going to look for, and where on the floor?
Michael Jordan's number 23.
Okay, so look for that guy that kind of tries to play like Michael Jordan, right? Okay.
I do.
We want to thank Blake Johnson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Amery. A couple minutes left in halftime, and the score is Amery 33, Colfax 20. Dan, details, please.
Yes. Here's the scores right now for the Amery Warriors. They're led by number 2, Carter Wolin. He's got 17. Followed by Sam Strike with 3. Jen Lindquist with 3. Blake Anderson with 5. And Seth Whalen with 1. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by 2 guys. Blake Johnson's got 4 and Ensminger's got 4. And we have Kyle Irwin with 1, Aiden Fisher with 3. We have Jack Charlo with 2, Mason Yarrington with 3, Colton Hoffman with 2, and Nick Jensen with 1. 33-20.
We'll be back with the second half of action. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism-boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFam is a slam dunk. That's FitFam Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Colfax starts with the ball as we start the second half. Amery with a 13-point lead, 33-20. Vikings moving left to right as we look on here. Ensminger fires into Charlo, up off the glass, rolls off, no good, rebounded by Seth Wallen. Wallen to Wolin. Wolin, back free throw line right to Blake Anderson, shot miss, rebounded by Jack Charlo. Charlo up the floor, goes to Ensminger. Ensminger, free throw line right. Ensminger out to Charlo, opposite side. Hooks down in the corner, give and go back to Ensminger. He's going to look at a 3 ball. Pops up from the free throw line instead, rolls around, no good. Charlo trying to fight for that ball. And it's rebounded by Seth Wallen. Out to Blake, check that, that's, Blake Anderson. Out in the far corner to Caleb Danielson. Back in to Seth Wallen. Wallen back to Anderson. And from the corner of the lane, that one missed, rebounded by Blake Johnson of the Vikings. Johnson, top of the key, one hand, tries to get it over to Hoffman. Rolls by him out of bounds, and Colfax wants a timeout. 16:42 to go. Second half, Amery 33, Colfax 20. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV are excited to once again be your home for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Amery with the ball after the timeout. Wolin out over to Thorsheim. Three-point attempt missed, but rebounded by Anderson of the Warriors. He fires it over to Wolin. Wolin goes up from the lane, and we'll have a 3-second violation on the Warriors. So the Vikings bring the ball back up. Johnson to Ensminger. Ensminger fires one to Hoffman. Hoffman, right side of the lane. Loses the ball. Trying to protect it on the floor. And let's see, the officials are talking about how to sort that one out. Jump ball, it's going to go to Amery. So Joey Thorsheim going to throw the ball in for Amery. Gets it into Carter Wolin. Thorsheim back. Across the center jump circle. Fires to Anderson, free throw line right. Anderson goes inside to Carter Wolin. And a foul is going to be called on Colton Hoffman. First foul of the second half. That's Colton Hoffman's second. So tossing it inbounds for Amery. It will go into Blake Anderson. Ball gets loose, picked up by Ensminger. Ensminger waits off the glass, puts it in. And Colfax scores first in the second half. 33-22 is the score. Amery with the lead. Carter Wolin driving in, and he'll do a layup on the left side, put that one in. So now it's back to an Amery 13-point lead, 15 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Second half, sorry, Aiden Fisher. From the corner of the lane goes out to Charlo. Charlo doubled up on. Back outside to Fisher. Fisher's going to look, passes it back out. Free throw line extended left to Ensminger. Ensminger going to look up from the free throw line. Bounces off big, rebounded by the Warriors' Joey Thorson. To Blake Anderson. Anderson quickly down on the other end. Now three-point shot. Carter Wolin up and in. 38-22 Warriors. Wow. 22 points for him. Driving in with a layup. Bounce around, missed by Aiden Fisher. Loose ball. Rebounded by Blake Anderson of Amery. Fired up the floor to Seth Wolin. Wolin up. Bounces out. Rebounded by Blake Johnson of Colfax. Johnson gets it in front of Fisher, and Charlo is there to pick it up. And we are going to have a blocking foul. And that is going to be called on Amery's number 13, Joey Thorsheim. So a foul for each, and that's Thorsheim's first foul of the game. One for each team here in the second half, 14 and a half minutes remaining. Blake Johnson underneath on the left side, gets it into Charlo. Charlo up. Shot blocked, but he's fouled on the way up. That foul is going to be charged to Blake Anderson. So that sends Jack Charlo to the free throw line. Join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 tomorrow, because we have a sweet treat for you on Valentine's Day as the Viking boys will host the Elk Mountain Mounders. That first free throw is good. In a Dunn St. Croix Conference battle, live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50 p.m. and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. Second free throw doesn't go in, rebounded by Caleb Danielson. It's Colfax Viking Boys Basketball tomorrow night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Joey Thorsheim being guarded very closely. Blake Anderson gets it back. Fires underneath to Caleb Danielson. He'll go out in the corner to Anderson. Back out on top to Anderson. Anderson up from 8, missed. Gets his own rebound, reload. That one doesn't fall in either. Somehow he gets that back off Colfax and puts it in. 40-23 Amery. Vikings bringing up the floor. Ensminger to Yarrington into the game now. Fisher Free throw line right, out to Johnson. And we're going to have a foul called on strike of Amery. Blake Johnson's going to throw it in for the Vikings. Johnson, baseball pass out on top to Ensminger. Ensminger goes to the free throw line, pops it up from 10. Shot blocked. Charlo goes up, and that rolls out. No good, but Jack Charlo is going to go to the line for 2 more. So that foul on Carter Wolin, his 3rd. That is the 4th foul for Amery in the second half already. Jack Charlo up. First free throw missed. Viking boys host Elk Mound tomorrow night at Colfax, 7:15, the tip-off time. Our pregame gets underway at 6:50 right here. Second free throw doesn't go in either. Carter Wolin pulls it off the rim for the Amery Warriors. Wolin drives on the right side, fires it out in the corner to Blake Anderson, and he swishes a 3-ball. 43-23 Amery. Going up, Ensminger goes up, puts the basket in, and is fouled on the way up. That's going to be charged to Joey Thorsheim. 43-25. Colfax closes the gap a bit, but Amery still with the lead, 13-15 to go first half. Ensminger going to try to finish off a 3-point play. And it falls short, rebounded by Blake Anderson. Wolin up the floor, back to Anderson. Anderson drives out from the corner, tries to get it inside to Danielson. Stolen away, tangled up by Aiden Fisher and others. Out to Ensminger. Ensminger going up off the glass, good. 43-27, Amery leads Colfax. 12:45 to go in the second half. Blake Anderson out to Sam Strike from the corner for 3. And trying to get the ball, Ensminger trying to get it underneath. I think it did. Down on the end, Blake Johnson underneath the Colfax basket trying to get it into Charlo, and he gets a push by Caleb Danielson. That's the second foul. That is the 6th foul for Amery in this early second half. And Amery wants a timeout. 12:27 remaining, second half. Amery 45, Colfax 27. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Colfax is going to throw it in off the timeout. Next foul by Amery puts Colfax on the line for 1-1. Nick Jensen helping out clean the floor there. He was just helping clean the floor. That's, Oh, and it looks like we've got some blood on the uniform, so out goes Caleb Danielson, and he is being replaced by Tyler Meyer. And we are ready. Aiden Fisher's going to throw it in underneath the Colfax basket on the right side. Into Mason Yerington. Up for three. Rolls out. No good. Rebounded by Carter Woolen of the Warriors. Woolen across the center jump circle. Charlo guarding him. He'll take one for three. And that shot missed. It moved the net, but there was a foul underneath. That foul's going to be on Sam Strike, his second. Aiden Fisher on the free throw line for 1 and 1. That is the 7th foul for Amery. Fisher. First shot. Good. 45-28. Amery with the lead. And the second one goes in as well. And we're going to send another player to the sidelines here. Looks like we've got blood. So that is Joey Thorsheim. Jens Lindquist will check in for him. Blake Anderson to throw it in for Amery. Anderson into Carter Woolen. Woolen up to Blake Anderson. Anderson to Sam Strike. Back to Anderson down underneath. Shot up from 7. Missed, and whoa. That did look like a lot like a takedown. And that foul is going to be charged to Tyler Meyer. That's going to put Elijah Ensminger on the free throw line for 1 and 1. So Yerington underneath the Colfax basket. Blake Johnson standing at the Colfax free throw line. First shot up and in for Ensminger. 45-30. Amery leads Colfax. Exactly 12 minutes left. Ensminger sends the second one of the 1+1 up, and that's good. Carter Woolen fires off to Joey Thorsheim. Back to Carter Woolen underneath. Caleb Danielson puts in a layup right underneath. Colfax brings it up the floor. Ensminger for three. Catches the rim. Yerington trying to get it. He'll knock the ball back into Jack Charlo. Charlo will go up, and that's a good one. 47-33. Amery, 11 and a half minutes to go in the second half. Colfax in the bonus. Amery with the ball. Blake Anderson up on the high on the right side. Down in the corner to Strike. Back up to Anderson. Top of the key up to Danielson. Back in the middle, up top to Anderson. Anderson into Carter Woolen. Woolen out inside. It goes to Lindquist. His 17-footer doesn't go, and Jack Charlo rebounds it for Colfax. He'll zing it up the floor to Ensminger. Down in the corner to Yerington. Yerington, three-pointer missed. Rebounded by Amery's Caleb Danielson. Woolen, free throw line left. He'll drive in. Fires a pass out on the far side to Lindquist. Lindquist back out to Woolen. Woolen driving back, fires it over to Blake Anderson, left side. Free throw line right to Lindquist, out to Woolen. 10 and a half minutes left, second half. Carter Woolen out in the corner to Blake Anderson. Anderson being guarded by Ensminger. He'll feed a pass into Danielson. He'll miss the shot, and it's rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger up the floor to Fisher. Fisher, free throw line left. Fisher out to Yerington to Blake Johnson. Johnson give and go out to Yerington. Free throw line out in the corner for Fisher. Fisher swishes in a three ball. Closes the gap to 11. Amery 47, Colfax 36. Carter Woolen in the middle. Drives on Charlo up in the far corner to Lindquist. And a foul is going to be charged to Mason Yarrington, and there's going to be 3 free throws for Jens Lindquist. That's only the second foul of the half for Colfax. He's going to shoot 3, and we'll invite you to join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Thursday, February 16th. First free throw missed, as the Viking girls will wrap up their regular season as they play host to the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50. That will be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball on Thursday, February 16th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Well, no points generated so far. This is the 3rd free throw being offered to Jens Lindquist. That one missed as well. Rebounded by Fisher. Fisher up to Ensminger. Ensminger driving left side of the lane, off the glass, good. 47-38, Colfax within 9 now. Carter Wolin. Give and go out to Blake Anderson. He's up high on the far wing. Or check that, that's Joey Thorsheim. Thorsheim out to Wolin. Wolin driving on 2 Vikings. Will fire it back out on top to Thorsheim. Thorsheim out to Carter Wolin. Wolin pops it up from 16. Rolls around the top of the rim and out. Rebounded by Fisher for Colfax. Fisher taking it down the right side. Drives in. Layup is good. Taking it coast to coast and bringing the Vikings to within 7. 47-40 Amery. 8:50 to go in the second half. With the ball, Carter Wolin. Wolin out to Joey Thorsheim. Thorsheim, his three-pointer missed. Danielson got a hand on it, but he tipped it over to Charlo. Charlo to Blake Johnson now. Johnson from the free throw line. That one rolls off, rebounded by Amery's Joey Thorsheim. Thorsheim to Carter Wolin. Three-pointer, nails it. 50-40. Amery back up by 10. Coming up on 8:15 to go in the second half. Driving in left side, Fisher. Fisher goes in on the left side. Fouled by Caleb Danielson. That is Danielson's 3rd foul and the 9th foul of the second half for Amery. Aiden Fisher, 5'11" sophomore, on the free throw line for Colfax. 8:09 left. Second half. First free throw. Nothing but net. Colfax pulls back to within 9. It's 50-41. Second of the 2 free throws. Makes that one as well. And Colfax wants to talk. 8:09 to go second half. Amery 50. Colfax 42. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
8:09 left, second half, 50-42, Amery leading Colfax. Amery's going to have the ball underneath the Colfax basket, and that's Anderson going to throw it in to Wolin. Woolen, one of the Amery sophomores, tosses it over to Anderson. Anderson and Thorsheim back and forth up top on the right wing. Back to Woolen. Colfax going to try to keep them out of scoring and crawl their way back into this one. They're 8 points out. Up on top, Blake Anderson. To Thorsheim. Bobbles the ball. Yarrington right there. Thorsheim back out on top to Anderson. Anderson, Thorsheim. Back in the middle to Woolen. Amery keeping the ball way out on top. Thorsheim drives toward the free throw line. Thorsheim, stop. And violation there. Colfax is going to get the ball back. Aiden Fisher, the free throw line. Gives it to Elijah Ensminger. He'll look at one. Drive in, top of the key. Fisher, three-pointer! 50-45. Colfax pulls to within 5 at 6:48 to go. Second half, driving in is Thorsheim. Thorsheim out to Anderson. Back out on top to Woolen. Woolen being guarded by Charlo. Woolen dumps it out in the corner to Anderson. Anderson on the baseline. Ball went out of bounds off Colfax. Carter Woolen, 6'2 sophomore, is going to throw it in for Amery. Nick Jensen's coming in now for Blake Johnson for the Vikings. Woolen inbounds to Wallen. Caleb Danielson tries to put it back up, and he's fouled on the way up, so he's going to get a couple of free throws. Foul's going to be called on Kyle Irwin, 5'10", senior for the Vikings. Caleb Danielson with 2 free throws here. His team leading 50-45 over Colfax. Makes free throw number 1. Colfax and home tomorrow night. The boys back in the conference, hosting Elk Mound. Second free throw good as well. 6:50 Viking pregame. Tip-off 7:15 right here on NLWN 2. Ball slapped out of bounds by Joey Thorsheim of the Warriors, so Colfax will keep moving it toward their end. Into Irwin. Irwin out to Fisher. Back into Fisher. Fisher into Jensen. Charlo, layup good. 52-47. Colfax down by 5 to Amery. Coming up on 6 minutes left second half. Blake Anderson gets the pass inside to a wide open Caleb Danielson, 6'2 sophomore. That puts that one in for Amery, back up by 7. Colfax up the floor, Ensminger. Ensminger outside the arch to Irwin. Irwin driving the left corner of the lane up to Jensen. Jensen from the free throw line, good! 54-49, 5-point Amery lead, 5.5 minutes left, second half. Up the floor it goes to Thorsheim, to Anderson. Anderson into Woolen. Woolen doubled up on. Fires out to the opposite corner to Thorsheim. Thorsheim will drive in, flip it out to Woolen. Woolen gets near half court, being guarded by Jack Charlo, and Charlo's going to be called for a reaching in foul. That is the 4th foul for Colfax this half. That's Jack Charlo's 3rd. Amery to toss it in. They go into Carter Woolen behind the timeline. He can bring it across. Woolen out in the far corner, out to Blake Anderson. Shot miss. Nice rebound by Aiden Fisher. Fisher to Ensminger. Ensminger driving in left side out in the far corner, back to Fisher. Fisher, free throw line left, fires it into Irwin. Irwin up off the glass. Good! 54 Amery, 51 Colfax, coming up on 4.5 minutes left in the second half. Carter Wolin back and forth with Seth Wallen, and a three-point attempt by Joey Thorsheim. Miss, rebounded by Jensen. Ensminger brings it down the floor. Turnaround jumper 5 falls short. Rebounded by Charlo. Charlo goes up and in. Colfax pulls to within 1. It's 54-53 Amery. Coming up on 4 minutes left in the ball game. Wolin out to Anderson. Back out. Anderson, free throw line left to Carter Wolin. Charlo guarding him at the top of the key. Wolin will pull it out. Back out to Blake Anderson. Anderson to Thorsheim. Thorsheim at the free throw line, stolen by Charlo. Charlo going to the other end. Layup miss. Rebounded by Thorsheim. 3:25 to go, second half. Amery 54, Colfax 53. That one stolen by Ensminger. And they're going to award the ball to Amery, I guess. And Elijah Ensminger talking about that. So throwing it, it'll be a strike. Strike into Wolin. Amery up by 1 with the ball. Thorsheim, top of the key, out to Wolin. Wolin three-pointer, nails it. 57-53 Amery. Colfax brings it up the floor. It's Ensminger. Looks at a three ball, top of the key. Fisher falls short, rebounded by Seth Wallen. Wallen out to an Ensminger. Knocks the ball out of bounds. Amery's going to get it. Or keep it. 2:51 left, second half. Amery 57, Colfax 53 from Amery. Thorsheim hands it off to Wallen, and ball gets loose. It's picked up by Irwin of Colfax on the Colfax end. Over to Aiden Fisher. Fisher drives in, and he's fouled on the way in. Foul's going to be charged to Carter Wolin. That is his fourth, and that is the 10th foul of the half for Amery, so that is going to put Fisher on the line for 2 free throws, double bonus. First one up, good. 57-54 Amery, 2:42 to go. Second half. Fisher gets the second one. Colfax pulls to within 2. And we have a substitution. Blake Anderson coming into the game to give Seth Wallen a break. Amery with the ball. Colfax down by 2, 2:42 to go, second half. Wolin looking. Sends it to Caleb Danielson close by. Across the timeline to Anderson. Anderson, nobody to throw it to down underneath. Free throw line left, finds Caleb Danielson. And he's called for traveling. Nice defense there by Nick Jensen. Kyle Irwin brings it up the floor for Colfax. Trailing by 2. Fisher. Back outside to Irwin. Irwin. Up to Fisher. Fisher for 3. Bounces around. No. Charlo with a rebound. Charlo going up. And we're going to have a foul charged to Caleb Danielson of Amery. It's going to put Charlo on the line for 2. That is Caleb Danielson's 4th foul. Quiet Jim. First free throw, good. Amery 57, Colfax 56, 2:12 to go second half. And we are tied at 57 on Jack Charlo's second free throw. Amery has the ball underneath their own basket. New ball game. And a foul's going to be called on Aiden Fisher. Amery will get the ball underneath their own basket. Or Blake Anderson, no, under Colfax's basket, sorry. Blake Anderson gets it out to Sam Strike. Carter Wolin on the floor. Blake Anderson gets the ball. He's doubled up onto the backcourt across the timeout. Thorsheim. Thorsheim out to Carter Wolin. Wolin being guarded by Charlo. Charlo's going to be called for a foul on that one. That is Jack's fourth foul. Sixth foul of the half for Colfax, so no bonus for Amery yet. Ball bounced inbounds to Carter Wolin. Crosses the timeline, 1:50 remaining, tied at 57. Out in the far corner, it goes out to Anderson. Anderson shot missed, rebounded by Charlo. Charlo asking for some help coming up, gives it to Ensminger. And Colfax wants a timeout. 1:34 remaining second half. Colfax 57, Amery 57. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Thursday, February 16th, when the Vikings will host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking Pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Thursday, February 16th.
Join us on NLWN2 for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Tuesday, February 14th, when the Vikings play host to the Elk Mound Mounders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking Pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Tuesday, February 14th.
1:34 remaining second half. Colfax 57, Amery 57. Vikings with the ball. They give it to Kyle Irwin into Ensminger. Ensminger back to Charlo up top on the left side. Charlo to Jensen. Jensen out to Ensminger. Down underneath. Charlo layup gives the Vikings their first lead in a long while in this one. 59-57 Colfax, 1:15 to go second half. Blake Anderson. Anderson up to Thorsheim, down in the near corner to Wolin. Wolin cross court pass, too hot, tipped around, rebounded by Fisher. Colfax wants a timeout. 55.5 seconds to go in the second half. It's Colfax 59, Amery 57. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Welcome back. 55.5 seconds remain in the second half of tonight's ball game. We're at Amery. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow, and videographer Chris Olson. Colfax Boys 59, Amery 57. Kyle Irwin's going to throw the ball in bounds. Irwin out on top to Ensminger. Ensminger going to take his time across there. One-handed throw to Charlo. Charlo out to Irwin. Back out on top to Ensminger. Ensminger dribbles it into the middle. Ensminger out to Charlo. Charlo, give and go to Irwin. In the middle, takes it to free throw line, extended left, loops around, comes back on top, hands it off to Ensminger. And we will have a foul called on Amery's Joey Thorsheim. All right. That's going against... Okay, that's what I thought. Thorsheim with his third foul. Elijah Ensminger makes number one. Puts Colfax up by 3, 60-57. 23 and a half seconds to go in the second half. Second one, good. Colfax a 4-point lead and 23 seconds and counting. Amery up the floor, Carter Wolin in the middle. Driving the right side, goes up. And Wolin puts in the basket. He is going to be fouled on the way in. I think that's going against Nick Jensen. It is, yep. That is Jensen's first foul of the night. Carter Wolin, 1 and 1, or 1, and it's missed. Charlo out to Irwin. Irwin's foul to stop the clock with 12.4 seconds to go in the second. Kyle Irwin, 5'10", senior guard on the line. That foul on Blake Anderson, his second of the night. 7th team foul for Amery. First free throw doesn't go. 61 Colfax, 59 Amery, 12.4 seconds to go. Second of the double bonus is good. So Colfax up by 3. Amery bringing it up the floor. It's Wolin. Wolin lets it go from three-point land. Hits, miss, reload, up and in. Good for Blake Anderson. 3.6 seconds to go in the second half. Amery wants a timeout, 62-61. Colfax with a 1-point lead. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
3.6 seconds remain in the second half. 62-61. Colfax fighting back in this one. Down at halftime. It is Fisher looking to throw it in. Fisher. 5-second violation. So Amery takes their last time out. They get the ball back underneath their own basket. 3.6 seconds remaining here in the second half. Colfax leads by 1. Amery's going to get the ball back underneath their own basket off a 5-second violation on Colfax. Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Thursday night, February 16th, as the Viking girls will wrap up their regular season as they play host to the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50 p.m., and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball on Thursday, February 16th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow, and videographer Chris Olson with you in Amery. 3.6 seconds remain in the second half of this ball game. Colfax had the ball before this timeout, but was called for a 5-second violation. Amery had them bottled up. So Amery took their last timeout and are going to throw it in underneath their own basket. So Blake Anderson's going to toss it in for Amery. Blake Anderson looking, goes out on top. Joey Meyer, and the shot is blocked. The shot is blocked by Charlo, and Colfax hangs on to win. 62-61. Coming from a 33-20 halftime deficit, and Colfax breaks their 6-game losing streak. They go up to 10-10 on the season. Amery falls to 5-16. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food, the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound. And they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors by paying them a visit and doing some business with them soon. Viking postgame coming up next. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where we'll take a look back at today's Colfax Viking Boys game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Welcome back to Amery. Jack Charlo threw himself in front of a three-point attempt as the buzzer sounded. Colfax won the second half 42-38 and hung on to a 62-61 victory over the Amery Warriors, ending a 6-game skid. I'm Jay Fall here with Dan Petchow and videographer Chris Olson. Dan, let's take a look at the numbers.
Yeah, here's the scores for Amery tonight. They're led by Number 2, Carter Wolin with 30. We had Blake Anderson with 12. Seth Whalen, or Caleb Danielson with 6. We had Sam Streck with 3. We had Jens Lindquist with 3. And we had Seth Whalen with 1. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led tonight by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He had 16 points. Followed by Aiden Fisher with 15. Jack Shaw at 13. We had Kyler Irwin with 4. We had Blake Johnson with 4. We had Nick Jensen with 3. And we had Colton Hoffman with 2. 62-61. Here comes Coach Knoll.
Mark Knoll, tonight's victorious coach, is with us tonight, and that was one heck of a comeback with an exciting end.
We like to try to make it as exciting as we can, and thank God that it came out in our favor in the second half. You know, to be down 19 points, I think that's what it was, right, guys? 19?
Let's see, 33, 20, 13.
No, we were down 19 to almost 20 at one point.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At one point.
Yeah.
You know,
okay, that was a halftime score. Yeah.
Yes, at halftime we were down that.
Yep.
And we had that, but we switched up some things on offense, had more spacing, and did a better job of attacking, and went away from our ball screen stuff. And we started getting easy shots, and that's a big credit to the boys for staying positive and to keep working and keep attacking.
Yeah, Amery, a very young team, they were shooting the lights out.
Oh yeah, I mean, the one sophomore, I said it, you know, he's averaging 27.5 points a game, Wallen is.
Wow.
You know, and yeah, he had 30 tonight. I mean, that's 2.5 points above his average. So he just barely almost had him to his average.
Mm-hmm.
And you would most times if someone scored 30, you'd think that was a record high. It's not with him, that's his average. So, for the most part, we did a good job. Hoffman came in and gave us some really good minutes, you know, when Jack had those 2 fouls in the first half. So we had to play without Jack, we had to play without Aiden really a lot in the first half because they both had 2 fouls, and that also affected us, you know, and then I had to sit Elijah for a little bit, and then that hurt as well. But we stayed positive, kept working, found a way to get back into it. And I think one thing that hurt them, to be honest with you, is they started to do a little stall ball with about 8 minutes left, and that's way too early, especially when it's a 7 or 9 point game.
Yeah.
There's too much time. And when they're young like that, everything's just gonna get tighter. And our boys saw a little blood, and they kept attacking.
Yeah, and bench support tonight too. You know, from from the other players coming off and filling in those gaps when others had to sit. You bet.
Huge. I don't know what did everybody end up with tonight here. Do you guys know?
Yep. Ensminger was 16, Fisher 15, Charlie 13.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
1, 2, 3, 4 more off the bench.
Yeah, that scored for us.
Yeah.
Good. That's what we want. We want more guys stepping up and making baskets for us. Every basket counts. Like even Kyle had a big basket there in the second half. In the last 5 minutes, that was a big basket for us.
You bet.
I think that was his only basket, but that was a big one. You know, so they all count the same. Doesn't matter who gets them.
That's right. Well, my thought is, for a poster for effort, that blocked shot at the end was something else.
That was something. Jack might have touched a 12-foot rim on that one there. He was super, super high. Super high. I'm just thankful that he didn't land on him or foul him.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that. Someone's going to shoot a deep three, maybe. So let's not get caught where we foul somebody, because that was what I was really concerned about. And we did a little trick there too on defense. I don't want to share it, but we did a little trick, and it did help us there on that last out of bounds play. So it was a huge thing for us.
All right, well, you dive right back into it in less than 24 hours. The conference-leading Mounders at your place.
Yeah, no practice. This is play, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. Just reel them off.
Both times that we played Oak Mountain this year, we've had to have no practice the day before, And they're a team that you need to have practice for to go against that 1-3-1. But we can go in there. We're loose. We have nothing to lose. I mean, they're the ones that are still playing for a conference championship. So if we were to beat them tomorrow, that would make them tied with Durand. So, and they still have to play each other one more time.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we're going to be looking to try to do.
Well, Mark, savor this one, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Congratulations.
Thanks, appreciate you making this trip. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Vikings. And they hang on or come from behind. And like I said, a picture of effort, 62-61. Outscoring the Amery Warriors 42-38 in the second half. We will take this break and then wrap it up from Amery. Colfax Viking Boys Basketball is on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Join us on NLWN 2 for exciting Colfax High School Boys Basketball.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Tuesday, February 14th when the Vikings play host to the Elk Mound Mounders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking Pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Tuesday, February 14th.
Welcome back to Amery, 62-61. Colfax season is now 10 wins and 10 losses. They face Elk Mound tomorrow night. Dan, this is one the Colfax boys really needed, and what a great effort.
Yeah, this team all year has stuck together. They've had highs, they've had lows, and I don't know what happened at halftime, but they played great in the second half and get that win.
You bet. And good news on the girls' side, too. The Colfax Viking ladies defeated Fall Creek tonight, 47-39. So a 2-0 night for the Colfax Vikings basketball team. And we invite you to join us tomorrow night as the Viking boys take on Elk Mound at home, 7:15 for the tip-off. Viking pregame at 6:50 to start our coverage. For videographer Chris Olson and Dan Pechaw, I'm Jay Fall. Thanks a lot for joining us. Good night from Amery.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.